Hands up if you've ever had one of those weeks where the world feels like it's actively conspiring against you. You wake up with a knot in your stomach, the kind that doesn't go away even after your third cup of coffee. You drag yourself to work, the pesky fluorescent lights overhead, buzzing like angry hornets. Every minor setback feels like a personal attack, draining your patience faster than a bottomless cup. By the end of the day, your shoulders are hunched like a defeated boxer, and the thought of another day like this makes you want to crawl into bed and pull the covers over your head. Now, I would like you to take a journey with me through my self-discovery, from recognizing there was a mental health issue to acknowledging its significance and ultimately seeking the help I desperately needed. For 5 years, I went to work under these circumstances. We built city buses by hand, and while the work was fulfilling, the environment was anything but. One day, a few hours into my shift, I felt bitterness boiling inside me. I was overwhelmed with thoughts like, why didn't day shift this? Why didn't day shift that? Why do I have to do this? Why can't that? There was anger growing inside me like an outraged beast. While working inside a bus with a cordless drill, my frustration escalated until I stood up, ready to throw that drill through the windshield. My arm muscles flexed as I prepared to launch it. At that moment, a coworker stepped up onto the bus. We both locked eyes. He looked at the drill beside my head, and I quickly lowered it. "You good?" he asked. "Nah, man, I don't think so." "Let's sit down and talk about it." Had my coworker been a few seconds late, I could have caused significant damage or injured him. This was my wake-up call. Something was wrong and I needed help. It's easy to ignore the signs. I knew I was frustrated with my job, but it wasn't just work. I was becoming angry with friends, there were issues at home, and I had stopped looking at myself in the mirror. How many of you take time to truly look at yourself in the mirror? I'm talking eye contact. I challenge you to take a full minute in the mirror to view yourself. Our thoughts often drift to our physical flaws first and then to other negative aspects. This is a sign that there's work to be done. It took reaching a breaking point to realize there was a problem. I pushed down my lingering thoughts and emotions, convincing myself it was temporary. But ignoring the issue only made my anger grow. Friends were cautious around me. My partner tried to help, but I refused to admit that the problem was with me. When my coworker walked onto that bus, I knew there was no more denying it. And admitting there was a problem was one of the hardest things I've ever done. We all want to be the best versions of ourselves, even when we know we're not. Admitting our flaws out loud is not something we're taught. We're encouraged to put our best foot forward, but this can also teach us to hide our weaknesses. The next day, I called the Veteran Affairs asking for an evaluation. A weeks later, I sat down and asked, "What is wrong with me?" When asked to explain, I told the psychologist that I was angry all the time, and it was affecting my job, friendships, home life. Turns out they diagnosed me with bipolar disorder type 2. Finally, I had a name for what was happening. But admitting I had a mental health illness was hard. Raised with high standards, need for perfection, I felt guilty, thinking something was fundamentally wrong with me. The next step was devising a plan, which included therapy and medication. I thrive on structure, so having an action plan was crucial. It took 10 years of therapy and trying various medications to find that right balance. In therapy, I learned about my mental health, but more importantly about myself. One of the first lessons was how to accept being bipolar and practice self-compassion. We internalize and personalize so much in life that is out beyond our control. I had to learn to take back control and understand that my mental health illness doesn't mean something was wrong with me. Seeking expert help helped me understand my concerns. Facing the truth can be painful, but dealing with it allows us to move forward. Today, I no longer need medication to regulate my bipolar disorder. I still have monthly check-ins with the mental health provider. My thoughts now turn to the positive before the negative, and I'm happier than ever as a person. As I began to open up about my diagnosis, I started speaking out with friends, and to my surprise, many of them shared their own struggles with mental health. Some battled anxiety, others faced depression, some dealt with issues they haven't even named yet. These conversations were eye-opening and comforting. I realized I wasn't alone. Knowing that my friends also faced similar challenges made it easier to support one another and break the stigma surrounding mental health. It's important to reach out for support. Friends, family members, or someone you feel most comfortable with are good places to start. For those in school, school counselors can provide support if you find yourself feeling alone or struggling. If you're unsure about health insurance coverage for therapy, church leaders, even if you're not religious, may be able to guide you to someone who can help. Community centers and online support groups are also valuable resources. Signs can be missed among daily challenges, and stressors can make recognizing mental health issues difficult. Acknowledging there is an issue is a formidable accomplishment. Seeking support is crucial, and professional evaluation may help you as it helped me. I struggled to recognize and acknowledge a problem. It took almost losing my job to face the fact that I needed help. When I sought help, my life changed, bringing me closer to the life I wanted, and I became the person I wanted to be. Let's prioritize mental health and normalize it within conversations. Reach out to a friend who may be struggling, or if you are struggling yourself, remember it's okay to ask for help. By supporting each other, we can create a healthier, happier community. There's still this stigma that we need to be perfect or always be presentable around each other. Being supportive and creating safe spaces is important because we can't always be 100% all the time. Living our best lives and being our best selves is something we should all want and strive for. We can make it happen. All it takes is spending some time on ourselves, within ourselves, and talking about it with each other. Thank you for listening.